Hello, my name is Jillian Yarbrough, and I was asked to share some ideas on how to help instructors differentiate between a canned distance learning course and a dynamic and moving distance learning course. Distance learning. This is not canned learning. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes made by universities and instructors. We prepare our course, put all the steps into the shell, and then students are asked to join. But where is the learning? Where is the innovation? Where is the dynamic exchange? This comes from the instructor, the student, and is supported but not created by technology. For this reason, I say that distance learning moves from canned learning to a dynamic learning experience when instructors use technology to support self-motivated students. My presentation will discuss how to support self-motivated students in the online classroom and foster a rich learning environment. I'd like to share this quote with you. You need not see what someone is doing to know if it is his or her vocation. You have only to watch their eyes. A cook mixing a sauce, a surgeon making a primary incision, a clerk completing a bill of sale. They wear the same rapt expression, forgetting themselves in a function. How beautiful it is that eye on the object look. W.H. Auden's quote is something on which I often reflect. I think about this quote for two reasons. First, the quote to me says meaning can be found in any job. It is not the job that creates the meaning, but the way people feel when they perform the job. Second, I hope for every person to find their true vocation. It is this hope that has led me to be an educator. I hope to support each student as they find activities and ultimately work that is meaningful to them. To support my students in their academic journey, I consider 3 points. A self-motivated student, what does this look like? An instructor, what is their role in supporting a self-motivated student? And technology, as support of the student and the instructor. Self-motivation, what does this look like? Can words adequately explain a person that is working in their vocation or their calling? A person that is choosing every day to learn? While descriptive words may be difficult to identify, a self-motivated individual is easy to see. Consider Mother Teresa, Steve Jobs, Edmund Hillary, and Tenzing Norgay. Mother Teresa spent decades working in extreme conditions with poverty, sickness, and death. Yet she is often pictured with a smile and giving hugs. She was self-motivated. Another example, Steve Jobs. Mr. Jobs spent his days seeking innovation and surrounding himself by innovative people. By choice, his life centered around his work, minimizing external issues. Even after terminal cancer diagnosis, Mr. Jobs chose to continue to work to seek innovation. And throughout his life, when discussing Apple, Mr. Jobs had a look of satisfaction on his face. It was undeniable. This look was joy. Mr. Jobs was self-motivated. Finally, Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. Hillary and Norgay were the first known individuals to climb Mount Everest, reaching the mountaintop at 11:30 a.m. on May 29, 1953. What would make these two men climb 29,000 feet above sea level? a mountain that no one had climbed before, a painfully cold mountain, a terrifyingly scary mountain. These two men were self-motivated. From a review of these four individuals, a definition of self-motivated can be developed. Self-motivated individuals have these characteristics in common. They're excited, they're choosing the learning experience, they're active, they're engaged, and they're usually a driving force. Take a second and reflect on a student you've had that is self-motivated, or a student you had hoped to foster into becoming self-motivated. As educators, we can see these common characteristics in many of our students. Our students that are excited about the course content, choosing to learn, active in the coursework, engaged in the learning process, and a driving force in their own learning experience. When I consider and reflect on my self-motivated students, two questions come to mind. As an instructor, what is my role? And technology. How do I use technology to support a dynamic learning experience for my students? First, let's discuss the role of the instructor. Look at this picture. Hillary is recognized, often alone, as the first to climb Mount Everest. When Hillary talked about the climb of Mount Everest, he says, "Gee, it'd be fun to go along on that reconnaissance." He was invited by a team that he described like a football team. They were to climb the south side of Mount Everest. Hillary was an experienced mountaineer, but not experienced with Mount Everest. And Hillary brought the resources, technology, equipment, and was already recognized as a world-class climber. He was invited to join this expedition. However, Norgay was also a seasoned mountaineer. He worked as a Sherpa in Nepal and spent decades trying to climb the north face of Mount Everest. Norgay made 2 attempts, funded by British expeditions on the northern side of Everest in the 1930s. Norgay had actually been within 150 feet of the summit before his attempt with Hillary. Both brought unique knowledge to the climb. Neither would have made it to the top without the other. But have you ever considered, is Hillary or Norgay the leader? And which of the pair was the apprentice? It is difficult to fully classify one as the leader or one as the apprentice. Rather, it is easier to say each brought necessary knowledge and each had moments of leadership and moments of apprentice. I think the role of a truly self-motivated student looks more like the relationship between Hillary and Norgay than that of leader and apprentice. When an educator works with a self-motivated student, the following occurs. The student learns from the instructor, and the instructor learns from the student, all the while using excitement, choice, active learning, engaged learning, and the student has the opportunity to be a driving force. So we need to support students in being self-motivated, and the instructor has a role in fostering student excitement, choice, active learning, engagement, and driving force. What is technology's role? And how does it help instructors reach students that are at a distance? How does an instructor recognize and support self-motivation in a student that is miles away and only accessible through technology? Can technology be a medium that allows for this transfer? The transfer of excitement, choice, active learning, engaged learning, and self-direction? The answer is yes. It is all just a mountain to climb. And as Hillary and Norgay used oxygen, ropes, tents, goggles, they use this type of technology to support their excitement in their learning journey. So too can online instructors. The skilled online instructor will create a learning environment where technology is used to support the student and the instructor on their learning journey. Technology supports the instructor and the student in building a dynamic learning experience in 3 ways. Technology can encourage and support student commitment. Technology is a support of an effective learning environment, and technology is supportive of transformational learning. First, technology can encourage and support student commitment. Technology allows for clarity and consistency and a way of providing and supporting meaning. In terms of clarity, we have many tools that allow us to provide clear, consistent information to our students, like easy access to the syllabus or easy access to course questions and answers. Consistency, technology allows every week in the online classroom to look the same. A consistent course framework allows students to focus on course content and retention. As an example, two views of one of my classes, allowing for clarity. It's a very clean classroom, 3 folders and a questions thread, and every week it looks the same. Here, a view showing consistency. Each week has the same information, the same reading, folders for reading, for assignments, for questions, clarity and consistency through technology. What about meaning? How does technology support meaning by going above and beyond? Use technology in a way to provide students with access to experts. Consider a course content area expert in the field to complete specific assignments, like bringing a jet propulsion lab expert from Los Angeles, or a law student to a lawyer, or social work to virtual clinical practice. In this way, technology can support and encourage student commitment by allowing experts into the classroom that can help provide meaning. Technology supports a rich learning environment through enhancing communication, distribution of learning resources, and above and beyond reflection. Online instructors and students can communicate synchronously and asynchronously regardless of time and location. Technology supports this communication and an ease of distribution of learning resources. Instructors and students can easily share documents, papers, videos, and books. Finally, the permanence of electronic communication supports students and instructors through reflection on dialogues, discussion, and feedback. But what about using technology to go above and beyond and support effective learning through reflection? There are many tools that can support this learning, technology tools that could support this learning. One example would be 24 Live Blog. Allow your students to attend a live event and blog their experience. In this way, students can be sharing bits of information real time, and with their instructor, they can reflect, go over, and review their learning experience. Attending, documenting, reflecting, and later dialoguing with the instructor will create a powerful learning experience. Third, technology can support transformative learning. Technology supports a transformative learning experience as it helps the instructor and student communicate. Technology supports opportunities for students to apply course concepts. And technology supports understanding through diverse participation and communication in each and every class. But above and beyond, technology offers wonderful, unique opportunities for students to understand at a deeper level the lived experiences of others. An example assignment of how to use technology in the classroom to foster transformative learning would be to create groups within your online classroom, or online teams, if you will. Have these teams review and study diversity. One avenue would be through Facebook. Have the teams like a page like Humans of New York or National Geographic, and the groups will dialogue on the differences and similarities between the group members and the individuals in other parts of the country or world. These differences and similarities will be less or more depending upon the experience of the individual group members. Here's an example page of the Humans of New York, and as you scroll through, each day or every few days, a different individual that lives in New York is featured, and they're telling about their life. Use technology in your classrooms to provide opportunities to see something from a new perspective. Technology is amazing in this role. Earlier in the presentation, we reflected on a self-motivated student or a student we hope to become self-motivated. Think for a few minutes, few seconds more likely, how can you use technology to support this individual? I would like to share some concluding thoughts. We teach because it's meaningful. Taking time to understand your students' learning needs is part of the learning journey. Use technology to support understanding of your students' learning needs and learning journey. Remember, Hillary and Norgay both made it to the top. And distance students benefit when instructors use technology in a way that promotes self-motivated learning. And it is the student and the instructor that make the difference between canned and dynamic learning. Thank you.